Hello folks, welcome to El Canal de Chano Jose. Today we're going to show you how to replace your battery on your car without this programming, without going through the trouble programming again all your sound system, your clock, and sometimes on some new cars, if you disconnect the battery and the power is lost for so much time, even the computer will react to it and it has to reprogram itself, and sometimes even the cars will lock up and they won't even turn on because they're thinking, or the computer's thinking, that they're getting stolen. So I'm going to show you how to use the tool that we made in the previous video to supply power to the unit or to the computer and keep basic power to the car while the main battery is being replaced. And with that, this simple tool and a small 12-volt battery, we're going to provide battery power to this car. And this is an older model, but the newer models, they require power all times. So we're going to show you how you can avoid all that trouble of programming stuff again once you replace the battery on your car. So with that said, I'm going to show you how it's done. So with the connector that we made in the battery, so we plug this one into the cigarette outlet, and then we open the key all the way to where like the car will be running, but we don't turn on the car. We just leave it on, and then we plug in our battery, positive with positive, negative with negative, and then with this is going to provide power to the car or the computer and all the accessories that need to be programmed, so that way we don't go through the problem of programming everything again, because we're going to provide power. In the meantime, we disconnect the main battery, and while we do that, this is going to be the power source. So once all that is done, then we put the main battery back on, and then we disconnect this, so there was never a loss of power on the car, so nothing can get damaged, or nothing can go to this programming mode. Nothing can be lost. So all the programming that was there is gonna still be there, and that way the computer doesn't have to reprogram itself. So with that said, we plug this into our cigarette lighter, then we plug into the outlets of the battery, positive with positive, negative with negative, and then we open the key. And once you do that, then we go and disconnect the battery, and then we replace it. Once we're done with the replacement, we come back, and then once we know that the other battery is being installed and is ready to go just like it would in a normal situation, then we disconnect all this, and then there was never a loss of power on the system. Here we have our multimeter, and we have it in volts, and we're gonna, the key is off, so we're gonna see how much voltage we have here. So as we can see, it's reading 0.5, so less than a volt. So now we're gonna disconnect it, turn on our key, and now we're gonna read how much voltage we have on this. 11.99. So we got almost 12 volts on this socket. So this is a power supply to the cigarette socket. So like I said, it's 11.96, so almost 12 volts. So we turn off the key again, so there should be no power now. And remember, the center is always the positive, well, if it's installed correctly. Nothing. We do it again, so we test with the multimeter in the middle with the positive, and the outside is the negative. So we get 12.0 I mean. So this is actually, if you plug in another battery through here, you could feed the system as long as it doesn't require high amperage. Just to keep the clock, couple things running, this will be a good item. That's why we're doing this. So folks, now that we have our tool that we made, we're gonna plug it into our cigarette outlet, and we're gonna verify that there's power coming out through that outlet once we open the key, because right now there should be no power. So we set our multimeter to volt. Let me plug the wires, negative to negative. Remember, when you do this, you gotta make sure that you gotta have the right wiring diagram done on your outlet. So we show 0 volts right now, so I'm gonna open the key. We we show 12.5. I turn up the key, 0 or 0.5, 12.5, and back to 0.5. So with that done, that we know that there's power being supplied to these two wires from our battery out here once we open the switch. But if we want to reverse the power, we can. That's the purpose of this. So we plug in our negative with negative, positive with positive. And what we do now that we have this little power, this battery is supplying our power to the system. Now what we're gonna do is that we have to open the switch to activate the power to go everywhere else, just like it would be on, because now we're reversing the power. So the switch has to be just to where the clock comes on and the radio will come on. So now from this, now that we have this set up, we go and disconnect our main battery, replace it, and I'll show you that once we disconnect it, the lights in here don't go off. So all this is, folks, is a backup memory system. This is power just to keep your memory on the car or the computer to stay as it should, as a normal operation. This is not to make the car run or drive. This is just to keep the memory while you guys replace the main battery, so there's never loss of power. So this is connected before you disconnect the main battery. You connect this, you get your switch on, then once everything's connected, then you go disconnect your main battery, replace it, and then once that battery is connected, then you come over here and disconnect this one, so there's never a loss of power on the system. And remember, it has to be a 12-volt battery. Connect our battery, our terminal. Now we have the door and the airbag light. We turn on our key to where almost the car will be almost ready to turn on. At this point, this will be the engine running. If I click it one more time like this, I will turn on the car, but I'm not pressing the clutch. So we got the power from this battery interconnected with the main battery, which is the 12 volt, the main one. So I'm gonna show you. So right now we got this little battery 12 volt connected into the cigarette lighter with our new tool that we made. And this is not a regular charger like this USB. This is a regular where the wires get soldered right into the pieces, and I show you that video. I'm gonna put a link on how I made this. So this battery is providing power. The switch has to be on, so we got all these lights on. So now let's go disconnect our main battery. So I'm not gonna cut the video so you guys think that I'm doing. So we disconnect up one terminal, the negative. So we don't have any power. As you can see, the battery is disconnected. I don't have anything else connected providing power except for this little battery. So we got our light on with this being provided. So the point here is that while you're doing the replacement of the battery on your car, you can attach this to the cigarette lighter, turn on the key, so the power flows back to the system, because without the switch on, the switch doesn't let this power flow, just like water will flow through pipes. So that's what it's doing. You gotta open the valve to you can let flow through the energy throughout the car. So that keeps your memory on your car, clock, everything, without having to reset it. And some cars, they will reset to the point where sometimes they lock up and they don't even want to turn on because their computer thinks that they're getting stolen. So this is the purpose of doing that. So with a small battery doing this. So now you do your replacement. You do your replacement on the battery. And then now once you have the new battery installed the right way, don't be careful when connecting the terminals. Once you have the battery connected and it's ready to drive, you come back here and you disconnect your 12 volt bypass, or you just simply turn off the key, and that shuts all the power, kills the power, and all it is that this power is going nowhere from here now because the key is not letting it flow back to the system because we shut it. This is just up to the switch and that's it. There's no more power going anywhere. So we turn on our key again, and that power is being provided by this 12 battery because I just show you that the battery is disconnected. So I'm gonna show you that this battery is providing this power by disconnecting. So you see, I just resetted the clock, and because I shut the key off and to stop the power flowing, my clock resetted because I wasn't getting any power from the main battery. So I'm gonna set it again. I'm gonna give it 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So we got 5 o'clock, right? So once I disconnect this, connect it again, it reset it again. So this is the main feed right now to my car. So as long as if you don't have any power connected at all to your car while you're doing this, don't disconnect this because that's gonna be like just having no power. You don't want to move this while you're replacing your battery in your car, because then you're gonna have to reset all the clock, sound system, all that good stuff. This is just to keep the memory back up, to keep the memory as if it was with the normal battery. So what we do is we go connect our battery, the main one. So we connect this. We go back inside. And now what we do is that I'm gonna disconnect this, and you'll see that nothing's gonna turn off. Everything stayed on. I disconnected it because now I'm getting power from the main battery of the car. Folks, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Find some of this information useful towards your new project or your next replacement on your car battery. And like I said, this can save you a lot of money and time and headaches on programming your car systems, especially for electrical side. And this can help you while you replace your battery, so it keeps your memory on your systems on place, and they don't erase when the battery is out of the main battery of the car is being replaced. So this is a helpful and easy way to keep your car memory while you replace your batteries. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and we'll see you soon with more videos here in el canal de Chano Jose.